Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Elrinth, the first boss, and we're gonna continue listening to some great video game music. Let's go! So first up we have Hiryu no Ken 3 for the Nintendo Famicom, released in 1990, developed by Culture Brain. The game's similar to Kung Fu, but with a twist in the boss fights. So the composers are Shunichi Mikame and Yuki Kume. The song we're gonna listen to is the Stage 2 theme. Here we go! Next up, we have Detana Twinbee, released for the
X68,000!
in 1991, developed by Konami. The game features three different sound options, one being the internal chips of the X68000, the second one being the MT32/CM32L MIDI module, and the third one being SC55 MIDI module. We're gonna listen to all three. The game's soundtrack was composed by Michiru Yamane, famous of Castlevania, as well as Hidenori Maezawa and Masai Nakashima. The song we're gonna listen to is the Stage 3, called Sky Fortress Laputa. Here we go! Next game was lent to me by my good friend Mike. Thank you, Mike. And that's Summer Carnival 93 Nexzr for the PC Engine Super CD ROM system. Released 93, developed by Nexzr. The game was composed by Tetsuyo Watanabe, Katsuya Yoneda, and Yasushi Wada. And the song we're gonna listen to is the Stage 2 theme. Here we go! So next up we have Super Adventure Island 2 for the Super Famicom / Super Nintendo. It was released 94 in North America and 95 in the rest of the world. It was developed by Makesoft Inc. and published by Hudson Soft. The game is similar to Adventures of Link for the Nintendo Entertainment System. You collect spells in order to progress to the next area, and you collect armor, weapons, and shields in order to become stronger, as well as more hearts. The composers are Akihiro Akamatsu, Sashiko Oita, Shinji Nakaya. And the song we're gonna listen to is Second Honeymoon, The Staff Row. Here we go. Next up, we have Dead or Alive 1 for the Sega Saturn. It was originally released in the arcades in 96, but made its way to the Sega Saturn home console in 97. The game is beat 'em up, and it features some weird things like bouncing boobs features, and sort of half-fun fighting game. The game was developed by Team Ninja, and the composer for this soundtrack is Makoto Hosoi, and the song we're gonna listen to is Ketsui no Toki. Here we go! Next up is F-Zero GX for the Nintendo GameCube, or F-Zero AX as it was called in the arcades, released in 2003, developed by Sega. The game was composed by Hidenori Shoji and Daiki Kasho. The song we're gonna listen to is Dr. Stewart's theme. Here we go! And the next one is a remake of an old Game Boy game called Final Fantasy Adventure. This one is Sword of Mana for the Game Boy Advance. I almost didn't find my cartridge because I had it stupidly inside of the Heroes of Mana Nintendo DS case. Because in the Nintendo DS case there was a slot in the upper placement where you could place GBA games, where the DS game would go in the bottom slot. Anyways, the game was released in 2003 in Japan and North America and 2004 in Europe. The game was composed by Kenji Ito, famous for the rest of the Mana series, and the song we're gonna listen to is Seeking the Holy Sword. Here we go. Next up, we have Bionic Commando for the PS3, Xbox 360 and PC, released in 2009. The game was outsourced by Capcom to be developed by Swedish developer Grin, which sadly no longer exists. RIP. The game features a swing mechanic, which is really annoying, and there's a camera, which totally turns into weird angles and makes it impossible for you to grip onto anything, and you will fall into your death. So the game also features a way to prevent the player from leaving the level designer's areas by adding a radiation thing, where when you leave the zone, similar to Battlefield games,
return to the combat area.
You will have a certain amount of time in order to get back to the zone where you're supposed to be playing. And I guess it's annoying, to put it mildly, but other games deal with it pretty cool. Have you played Motocross Madness? It's got pretty cool mechanic. As well as Delta Force. I guess Delta Force is hard to compare with, since it's a voxel game and it's like generated terrain, so it's kind of hard to compare to that. Anyways, the game's composers are Jamie Christopherson, Eric Thornberg, Trond-Viggo Melsen, Jonathan Crawford, Henrik Andreus, Simon Wiklund, Emma Pettersson. And one cool thing is Chris Klein, the Vertex guy, who used to make really cool Double Dragon and Contra metal remixes back in like early years of YouTube. He's featured in this game in the radio. And anyways, the song we're gonna listen to is The Gauntlet by Jamie Christopherson. Here we go. Next up is Golden Sun Dark Dawn for the Nintendo DS, released in 2010, developed by Camelot Software Planning. The composer is Motoi Sakuraba. And the song we're gonna listen to is Saturos' battle theme from the first original Golden Sun game, remixed for this game. Here we go! game by Square Enix, Final Fantasy 15 for the Xbox One and PS4, released in 2016. The game boasts a massive, impressive soundtrack by Yoko Shimomura, as well as rearranges and remixes from the old Final Fantasy games. The song we're gonna listen to is called Valse di Fantastica. Here we go.
ノクト。
やったな、ノクト。
やるじゃん、ノクト。
Thank you all for watching. Had a blast making this episode. Leave a comment below if you liked it. And see you guys later. Bye! The original Bionic Commando has some pretty good swinging mechanics, but this one just not works. Just not works.